Tony. I'm excited to share another flow with you today. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. This one will be just kind of a feel-good flow. I hope you enjoy. So come on into child's pose. Big toes come together, knees nice and wide, and then you'll just lengthen your arms long down onto your mat. As you melt your chest down toward the mat, let your forehead come down, and you might start to rock your forehead side to side gently just to ground down, just to connect to the space. I think that right now, as I record this, we're in the middle of social distancing and staying at home due to COVID-19. And for me, being at home all the time and not going into work or doing the other things that I typically do during my day makes transitions kind of tricky. So it's sometimes hard to come out of the work zone or the family zone or whatever it is you have going on and move into your practice. So we take time here to just kind of start to generate a sense of presence on our mat and in our bodies. So as you're here in child's pose, start to really notice your breath. And how many times a day do you actually stop and think about your breath? It's automatic. It's not something that we spend time thinking on, and yet it does impact how we feel in our bodies. If our breath is short, and if it's only residing in our chest, it signifies to our brain that we feel stressed, that things are not calm. But if we can find that nice balanced and even breath that's a little bit longer on the inhale, a little bit longer on the exhale, and into the belly, we might be able to signal to the brain that we're safe and that we're calm. Good, one more nice big breath in. Let it go. And then on the inhale, come on up to your tabletop position. So you're just gonna stack your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, and then here we're gonna engage through our core. So your abdomen and your back to lengthen the crown of your head forward and your tailbone back. And you're gonna find that nice length. And then as you breathe in and out, think of the breath moving down the length of the spine. Getting a little bit longer, reaching the crown of the head a little bit more forward as you draw the tailbone a little bit more back. And one more nice big breath. And then from here, we're going to take left hand, reach it out to the side, and then take your gaze to follow it up, and then thread the needle. Take the left hand underneath the right arm, draw your temple down, left cheek down, and just take a second there. So the hips are high. And you're just allowing a nice gentle stretch in the shoulder. Good, one more nice big breath. Let it out. And let's unwind. Reach that left hand up nice and high and then place it back down. Right arm sweeps up, maybe take the gaze with it, and then take it underneath the left arm. This time left cheek down to the mat. And just a couple breaths. One more. And then make your way back up. I like to end by going out the way I went in, so I'm going to gaze back toward my hand and then replace my hand back down. Now from here, tuck your toes, come on up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and find yourself in a position where you can really take advantage of lengthening and stretching out the backs of the legs. So that may mean that you bend your knees quite a lot today, and get a nice long flat back as you press down into the mat. Maybe you slowly start to lengthen the legs so that the heels come toward the mat. We're going to take a couple breaths. You might bend one knee then the other. Maybe you shake the hips side to side. And then from there, settle into it. Let's lift the right leg up high. I'm just checking, it looks like I'm just missing my wall. And we're going to bend the knee, open the hip, bringing the inner thigh up nice and high, and then find a couple circles. And switch up the direction of those circles. And then reach that leg up back high again, and then replace it down, downward facing dog. Left leg high, draw it up.
Bend the knee, open the hip. As you do that, notice if you've offloaded your weight to one side, one shoulder, try to balance. Lift up through the inner thigh and find some circles. And then switch up the direction. So I'm rolling both my ankle and my hip. And then we're gonna pause, find center, and replace that foot down. Good, now from here, inhale, hinge forward, find your high plank. Take a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more big breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, take a breath here. Let it out. Now inhale, high plank. You can always come to your knees here. If you are lifted, try to avoid having the hips piking up or sagging down. Keep them in a nice long line. Press your heels back, one more breath in. Exhale out. We're just building heat in the body and warming up our shoulders. Inhale, hinge forward, high plank. Activate, lengthen, crown of the head forward, heels, tailbone back, and downward facing dog. Good, now from here, walk your hands and feet toward each other and find yourself in ragdoll. So feet hip width distance, maybe a little wider if you'd like. And then allow your torso to melt down, your head to be heavy. Your arms can stay long, or maybe you grab opposite elbow. And I like to sway a little here. I notice often when I come into this pose that I have a tendency to keep tension in my neck by like lifting up more. I want to try to avoid that and really just drop the head down. And sometimes swaying helps with that. And as you maybe find some sways, or maybe you're holding still, just think about continuing to let the head just melt down, be a little bit heavier, softening all the muscles around the neck and shoulders. One more breath. And then release your hands down to the mat, toe heel your feet to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, nice long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold. Good, one more time, inhale, halfway lift. Draw the shoulders back away from your ears as you lengthen the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold. Good, now let's root down through our feet. So pressing down through the four corners of the feet and then slowly drawing up. I've got my arms just hanging heavy here. As I slowly come up, my chin is the last thing to lift. And then I'll take my gaze forward. And then from there, inhale, arms sweep up high. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good, inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull in. Just imagine pulling in sunshine, good energy. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, draw in. The belly draws back here, shoulders draw down. Inhale, lengthen up. And this time, Utkatasana, our chair pose. We're going to sit our glutes back. And then really pressing the weight into the heels. Now, I'm also going to draw my shoulders down so I engage my lats. And then instead of allowing my tailbone to stick out, I'm going to kind of draw it down so that I'm really engaging through my core. So right in my abs, I'm pulling them back to find a nice long spine, flat back. Good, one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, coming down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, find yourself in a low lunge. Good, now a little bit of movement here to shake the hips forward and back, side to side, whatever feels good in your body. And then left hand stays down, reach your right arm up high. Get a nice little twist in. Exhale, release the right hand down. Good, inhale, lengthen it up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, hand down. Good, now come into plank. Step your foot back. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Come to 9 degrees or a little bit more open with the elbows. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Pulling the heart through. Exhale, pull your hips up high, downward facing dog. Okay, deep breath in. Let it go. One more inhale. And exhale. Feels good to take some deep breaths. Inhale, hinge forward, find high plank. Good, now let's activate the whole body. So this isn't just in the arms, you're engaging your core, you're engaging through the legs, your glutes even are turned on a bit. One more breath in, exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, deep breath in. Let it go. One more big breath in. and out. One more time, hinge forward, high plank. Activate, find your strength. When you're pressing down into the mat, and then imagine as if you're ripping the mat in half. Good, one more breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, deep breath in. Exhale, walk forward, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine, flat back, core engaged. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, rise up, Urdhva Tadasana. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good, one more time. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good, now let's end lifting the arms up. And then exhale, Utkatasana. So this one's a good one to build some heat and really activate. Turn everything on. Shoulders draw down again. Weight is in the heels. You should be able to gaze down and see your toes. If not, you need to sit back just a little more. And then remember to keep that belly pulled in. Get a nice flat back. Good, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time, big breath in. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. So now you have a low lunge with your left foot forward. Now find just a little movement, forward and back, side to side. And when you're ready, plant the right hand, reach the left arm up high, spread your fingers nice and wide. Exhale, release the hand down. Inhale, lengthen back up. Exhale, draw back down. One more time, inhale, lengthen back up. Exhale, hand down. Plant that hand, step your foot back, find yourself into high plank. And then exhale, lower down, low plank. Hold for a moment. Inhale, upward facing dog, pull your heart through. And exhale, down dog. A lot of times people want to rush through those chaturangas, and it's really nice if you can kind of feel each pose. So you've got your high plank, your low plank, your upward facing dog, and each of those has a different breath. So think about that as you move through those flows. Okay, take one more breath in here. Let it out. Inhale, right leg sweeps up high. Exhale, take your knee towards your nose and shift forward so that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. And you're pulling your knee up nice and tight, really engaging through the belly. Inhale, right leg comes up high again. And then we're gonna step our foot through finding low lunge. So take your knee nice and slow towards your nose on the way, and then step through low lunge. So by doing that, you're teaching yourself to really engage your core as you draw your foot forward. Good, now from here, spin your back heel down. We're gonna come up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So for this one, just take a moment to set up your Warrior Two in the right alignment. So my front knee is not gonna pass my ankle. It's gonna be either behind it or stacked above it. And if I feel like it is passing and I want to go deeper, I'll just step my foot a little bit longer. This front knee, I'm gonna draw over toward my pinky toe just a little bit. So I've got this action with my inner thigh rolling open and back. Back foot, a lot of energy down that back edge of the foot. Activated, and that's drawing up my leg. And then I'm gonna reach my arms out to the sides, and I'm gonna engage through my core to find a little bit more length and lift, and then take a deep breath in, and out. Good, now from here, we're gonna just reach forward here, and pull it back. Good, reach forward, pull back. See if you can keep your legs exactly the same. Reach forward, pull back, and then exhale, extended side angle. Just take a moment to really feel the pose instead of rushing past it. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Keeping the depth in that front lunge. And then we'll sweep the hands down, plant them on the mat, step back, high to low plank, nice and slow, one breath per each pose. And exhale on the way up with the hips. Good, take a breath in. Let it out. Deep breath in. And out. Left leg high, inhale. Knee to nose, hug in as you shift forward and draw that knee up. So you're kind of pulling up through the belly. And then leg back high again. And exhale, draw your knee towards your chest, towards your chin, and then step it through low lunge. Good, now from here, back heel comes down. Inhale, arms sweep up, torso comes up. Find your warrior two. Good, now, again, this first pose, thinking about alignment instead of just moving through it. So taking that moment to really think about that. So we're gonna take the front knee, draw it a little bit more open. Feel the energy of the inner thigh rolling back and open. Maybe get into that lunge a little more, just taking care to make sure our knee doesn't pass our ankle. Back foot, back edge is pressing down into the mat, and I'm using that energy to bring it up my leg. Now from here, I'm gonna cinch through my waist, get a little bit taller, soften my shoulders down, nice extension through my arms, reaching in opposite directions very powerfully. Deep breath in. Extended side angle, exhale. Ooh, I forgot one. We'll come back to it. So take a second in your extended side angle first. Feel that nice long line of energy. And then reverse your warrior, inhale. And feel that depth in the front leg. Nice side body stretch, and let's rise back up, warrior two. Good, now reaching forward. Drawing back. So the purpose here is to get you to engage through your core, to get you to stay in it with your legs, even though you want to come out. So it's a little distraction. Now we're going to windmill down. Plant the hands, step back, chaturanga dandasana, high to low plank. And then, eventually in your own time, moving with your breath, finding your way back into downward facing dog. And breathe in, and breathe out. Good, one more big breath in, and big breath out. Right leg sweeps up high. Knee to nose, shh. Good, inhale leg high. Exhale, nice and controlled, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, lean forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, reach it forward. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, extended side ankle. Opening up through the top shoulder. Inhale, reverse warrior. Finding that depth. Exhale, let's sweep it down. Plant the hands. Chaturanga dandasana. Meet in down dog when you're ready. And let's take a breath in. Breath out. Left leg high, inhale. Knee to nose. Send it up, inhale. Exhale, draw it through, nice and controlled, low lunge. Warrior two, rise up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, draw forward. Inhale, draw back. Good, exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, nice full breath. Exhale, sweep it down. Chaturanga dandasana. And then make your way back into downward facing dog. Okay, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Good, nice big breath in. And big breath out. Let's send the right leg high again. Knee to nose, make it count. Leg high, inhale. Exhale, step through, find your low lunge. Good, let's take that twist. So left hand is down, right arm sweeps up. And exhale, release the hand down. Good, now we're gonna come into crescent lunge. So your hips, your feet are about hip width distance apart. You're gonna draw the energy toward each other. So both feet are drawing toward each other. You're gonna lift up, engaging the inner thighs, hugging them in tight. Now, to check, I'm going to take my hands to my hip bones. I'm just going to kind of feel out. I want to draw my left hip forward a little bit, drop my right hip so that they're about level and balanced. Then I'm going to engage that back leg by pressing into the back heel, and then I'm going to recommit to my front lunge. Yeah, and arms reach up nice and high. Good, then hands to the heart.
And then we're going to revolve over, revolved crescent, Parivrtta Anjaneyasana. So I'm hooking my elbow on the outside of my knee. And I can choose to stay lifted off my back leg. I can come down. Coming down allows you to find more depth in the twist. Staying up is a little bit more challenging in terms of activating your legs through this pose. So take a couple more breaths here. Just finding that depth, even while you hold a challenging pose. One more. Good, and then let's rise up, crescent lunge, and then exhale, plant the hands, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Maybe you choose Ekapada Chaturanga, which is one leg lifted, so my right leg will stay lifted, and then I'll move through. And downward facing dog. Left side, left leg rises high, knee to nose hug in, send it high, inhale. Exhale, step through, a little lunge. Good, find that little twist. Right hand down, left arm sweeps up. And release it down. Good, now we're gonna set up for crescent lunge. Set up your feet so they're about hip width distance. You don't wanna be on you don't wanna be too narrow. Draw into the midline with your inner thighs, and then lengthen up. Good, now I'm gonna take my hands to my hips again, my hip bones. We'll find them here. And I'm gonna notice, oh yeah, right hip's down. I'm gonna draw it up. And I'm going to draw my right hip forward. I might shift a little as I do that because I'm throwing my balance a little, but once I connect, I'll feel more strong. Now, pressing out my back heel, committing to that energy, and then getting into my front lunge. As I maintain that levelness with the hips. Arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Parivrtta Anjaneyasana, to revolve it over to the left here. And then again, like you did on the other side, mirror it. So if you came down to your back knee, go ahead and do that here. If you stay lifted here. Breathe through it. One more breath. And rise back to center, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, make it through Chaturanga. Connecting breath to movement here. Eventually back into down dog. Good, take a few breaths here. Good, one more nice big breath. And then from here, sweep your right leg up high. Exhale, we're just gonna take our knee right over toward our right wrist, finding our way into half pigeon pose. So for this pose, right knee toward the right wrist, the shin, if I take my heel, my right heel toward my groin, this will be less intense on my hips. If I take it more parallel with the front of my mat with my shin, the more intense it'll be. So find your balance. And we just thought about crescent lunge and how we want it level hips. So I want you to think about that here. So instead of allowing one hip to sink or come forward more than the other, stay balanced. So yeah, I can come all the way down to the mat with my hips if I turn to one side. That's not what we're looking for. We want to stay balanced right in the middle. And for most of us, we will not be touching the ground. Some of us, we will. So we're going to just allow that energy to be heavy. And then you can either stay lifted here or extend up and then fold down for sleeping pigeon. And here, you want to be intentional about your breath. Sending it into the hip. And using it to help you stay present. So instead of allowing the mind to race, which it will, try to focus in on the breath. And notice when your mind is racing. Notice when you're thinking about something else or you're feeling something else, and label that thought. Just thinking that I was thinking, and now I'm going to focus in on breathing. And sometimes it helps to do a simple just counting to 10 with the breath, and then starting over. Just take a couple more breaths here. I can hear my 4-year-old laughing outside. She's got a little gusto in her laugh. It's pretty funny. Keep you present, right? One more breath. And then when you're ready, lift up to your palms, tuck your back toes,
And let's extend the right leg up high, shake it out. And then foot down. Other side, left leg high, left knee, left wrist. Set up that front leg in a way that's comfortable for your body. So this is not, this pose will bring a lot of sensation, but you shouldn't have pain. If that's happening, you want to adjust. And one thing that you can do is just, again, draw the heel closer to the groin. Will make it less tense. If it's still not working for you, do something different. You don't need to do the pose if it's causing any pain. You shouldn't be doing it. So it's really just understanding that, yep, I'm going to have a lot of sensation here, and leaning into that, but drawing that line if it ever crosses into something that is pain. So we're going to be, again, heavy through the hips, and instead of leaning to one side or the other, I'm going to find myself pretty centered. I'm going to be nice and heavy. I like to stay lifted first to help remind my body to be heavy here. Then we're going to extend nice and long, and either you stay right there or you start to fold, coming to your forearms. If you have a block, you can come onto that. Maybe you come all the way down to your chest. Sometimes I like to take my forehead right on top of my fists. So I'll stack my fists and put my forehead there, and that could be a nice pressure point, especially if you've had any tension headaches. This can be a nice way to kind of find some relief. Now breathe again. Very simple, just in and out. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Nice and heavy through the hips. And then begin to rise. Back to the palms. Tuck the back toes. Lift the left leg up high. Maybe shake it out if that feels good in your body. And then replace it back down into your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And exhale, drop down to your knees. Cross your ankles. And from here, let's take Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. We're going to come nice and tall. I'm going to kind of move the flesh muscle away from underneath my sitting bones so that I can really root down here. And then I'm going to activate my feet so that my toes are drawing back toward my shins, getting nice and long in the spine, lengthening up here. And then nice flat back, drawing forward as far as you can, just hinging from the hips and hold. Get longer, reach more. And then maybe you start to roll over the legs. It's okay to bend the knees here. And it's okay to grab on wherever you can on the legs. It's not about reaching your toes. It's about finding the stretch that serves your body well. And we'll find another couple breaths here. And one more. And then let's lift up. Good, and then lengthen up, get nice and tall. And then from here, let's do a wide leg fold here. So we're just going to take the legs out into a V shape. Flex the toes here, activate through the quads, sit nice and tall, and then just walk your hands forward as much as you can until you start to feel a little bit of a tug, a little bit of a stretch. And maybe you start to go forward a little more. As you kind of settle into it, you'll notice that your muscles kind of ease, your tissues kind of ease you in. They kind of start to soften and aren't resisting as much. So again, this is about listening to your body, and so it may be perfect to be right here, and that might even be tricky today, and it might be fine to stay where you went initially, or you might continue to go down farther. So it just kind of depends on how you're feeling. Read your body, just so that you can be safe. One more breath here. And let's rise up. And then take the legs together, and then from here, rolling all the way down onto our backs. Supta Baddha Konasana, just for a quick, nice little relief in the low back. I'm going to take one hand to my belly, one to my spine, or to my heart, and breathe. And then let my spine just kind of sink down into the mat, and my knees fall apart.
One more breath here. And then from here, knees come together, draw your knees in tight, so you're in a tight little ball. Take your arms out to a T shape, drop your knees over to the left, find a supine twist. So you can keep the gaze straight up or you can gaze over your right hand, totally up to you, whatever feels best in your body. And then inhale back to center. Hug the knees in one more time here, and then drop them over to the right. And then here, gaze can come up toward the ceiling again or over to the left. And then draw yourself back to center. Hug those knees in one more time. And find yourself in happy baby. Knees towards shoulders. Take your hands to your feet. Draw your tailbone toward the ground. Knees nice and open. Shoulders come down too. Maybe you rock a little side to side. Maybe you just hold still. Totally up to you. Maybe you take your peace fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and wrap it around your big toe, and then extend the legs open. You might just hold that, or you might kind of pulse in and out. Felt really nice. Nice inner thigh stretch. Lean into the hamstrings. One more time, one more breath here, wherever you're at. And then release your hands, draw your knees in tight. For the last time, hug and squeeze and engage. And then extend your legs nice and long. Arms come long. Make your way into final Shavasana. So breathe here. Focus a little bit more on the exhalations. Letting go of anything not serving you well. Just being at peace and being present here on the mat. I recommend just lingering here for at least a couple minutes. And from there, maybe you stay longer. But when you're ready to come out, just moving slowly and taking a moment before you transition back into your day. Thanks for joining me today. The light in me honors the light within each of you. Namaste.